Okay, we'll get going. I mean, in light of the events in Nice, we'll talk about death. You know, comes up prominently in this week's parasha. It opens up with the din of paraduma, which takes off tumas meis, to take off the impurity of being dead, and there's a very interesting lashon chazal, bikho elecha paraduma tmima. Take it to you, to Moshe Rabbeinu. So Chazal say on these two drushes, in the medrash right there. First of all, bikho elecha lo'olam hi nikras al shmecha. Paradu will forever be named after Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? Paradu will always be named after Moshe Rabbeinu. That Ephraim Parah is always going to be associated. Parah Shasa Moshe. That's why it's always going to be associated with you, like Avtacha. They save the ashes of the Parah Aduma, and they called it Ephraim, right? Right. Parah Shasa Moshe. That's one drasha. So, of course, what is the big honor in that the Paraduma ashes are called Hashem Moshe Rabbeinu, and the now there's a more famous chazal, Bikho Lecha Lecha Ani Megala Ta'amei Para La'achirim Chuka. For you, Paraduma is not going to be any mystery. I know it's one of the strangest halach mitzvahs that we have. The same waters, mitame taharim, and it's mitar tameim, and all the other issues of paraduma that seem to be a mystery. It's like the quintessential chok, right? But to Moshe Rabbeinu was no mystery. That's what I understand. So paraduma is like a spell. That's why the pasuk goes up vikhu elecha paraduma tmima. It has to be brought, to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was to be associated with, as a shaykhus to the Indian of Paraduma. Now, Lamaseh, Moshe Rabbeinu is the lawgiver. We got Torah through Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? So there's a very interesting chazal in this week's parsha. It's in the continuation of the halachas of Paraduma. Zos HaTorah, Odom Kiyomus Bo. The Chazal make a draw that famous drasha, Ein divrei Torah niknin elamisha meimis atzmo le'am. Shiyamis atzmo bala shator. Zos haTorah, Odom kiyomus bo. Right, that divrei Torah, can only be acquired if you're willing to kill yourself over it. To die over it. The amelos b'Torah is no one knows about suicide, but it's amazing. The interesting amelos b'Torah. This din of Amelus Batorah has been coined, and the metaphor for Amelus is death. Now, Yesh Dvarim B'Gav, there's something really deep going on in this, because by Ma'amad Har Sinai also, Nafshi Yotza B'Dabro, the pasuk says in the Shir Hashem Chazal Darshan, that's referring to Am Yisrael by Ma'amad Har Sinai. When they heard HaKadosh speak, they dropped dead, and they were brought back to life from the Torah. Tulashars and Chazal is one lashon in the Medrash that Mufurish that the Torah was mevakesh aleim rachamim and said, Ribon Sham, you made a party and you killed all the guests, right? So the Torah, and that's what it means. Torah Hashem tamima meshivas nefesh, that the Torah was that which restored our lives, right? But even like the other lashon Chazal, the Akash Baruch Hu at that time was morid tal she'asid lahachil spo esamesim, the dew that HaKadosh was destined to give us by Tchias HaMesim. So, but the Mefarshim say that also may be the Torah, like it says in Parshas Azinu, Tizal Katal Imrasi. The Divrei Torah, are called like Tal, like dew. So, it could be understood to be Mikoach HaTorah also. Because there's something about the, about Torah and death. Right? Another association. Varkim is kosher asa v'hine tov mod. Famous Chazal. Tov is chaim. Tov mod zam misa. So what does the pasuk say that? Vayi erev, vayi boker, yom ha-shishi. So the extra hey ha-shishi is a remez to the well-known ha-shishi vav b'sivan, right? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah. So that's after the words that allude to Misa. Tov Ma'od, Zeha Misa, which that in itself needs to be explained. Why is Misa Tov Ma'od? Chaim is Tov. Right? Misa is Tov Ma'od. Right?
So there's a lot of very happy people in these.
Right, yeah. I said we're talking about death. We're talking about death. So the Indian is like this. Right? I may have spoken this out once. It's a very big yesod. It's the first thing I learned from my Rebbe, Moshe Shapiro, when I first met him in Flatbush, before I went to learn by him in Eretz Yisrael. So he asked me if I know what Tumah is. If I know what Tumah is, how should I know what Tumah is? So he says the root of the word Tumah is Tam, Tet Mem, which in Lashon HaKodesh means sealed off, like Tumtum, like Tamun. Hatmana, Mitum Tam is a guy who's right? A person whose Tameh is sealed off. Right? He's cut off from reality. Right? He's in a box, sealed off from Kedusha, sealed off from Dveikus and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's sealed. Right? Tahara is openness. Like he says, there's a Targum that says, Sohar, Tasa, Teva, Tihara. It's a window. Tahara is a window that's to be, keep an open flow. Tameh is when you're sealed off, and that's why one of the halachas of Tumah is Shiluach Machanos. He has to be thrown out of, the Machane. He can't be around normal Torah people, depending on which type of Tumah he has, particularly the Tzora, Bodad Yeshev, sealed off. Right? The Chet of Adam Arishan, right, which brought death to the world as we know it. Right, with that Chet, what I said brought death to the world is that humanity became sealed off from Kedusha. Right? The Ani Amarti Elohim Atem Ubnei Elyon Kuchem Achen Ka'adam Tamusa. We were called Bnei Elohim first, before Chet of Adam Rishon, and also by Mamad Ar Sinai before Chet Egel, right? Connected to our Kodesh group, Bnei Elohim. Right? But then Achen Ka'adam Tamusa. Right? What makes us, man, as opposed to something holy, as opposed to Bnei Elohim, Achen Ka'adam Tamusa. You die like a man. That the Indian of death, which is the highest form of Tumah, right, death in its lower form, right, is that you go and you become cut off, disassociated. It's the hepech of Vatim Hadveikim B'Hashem Okechem Chayim Kulchem Hayom. And that's what it means. Tzadikim b'misosam kruyim chayim. They never lose their connection, even in death. And Rishoyim afilu b'chayeyim kruyim mesim, because they're disconnected. They are sealed off from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who's the Makor HaChayim. They're on their own trip, but they don't realize that they're sealed off in a box. That inside that box that they're sealed in, Kedusha and real Chayim never penetrates over there. Right? And that situation is called death. Right? Not just the actual descent into that situation is called death. Ki biyom achocha mimeno mos tamus. The Pasuk says, Adam lived another 930 years after that. But biyom achocha mimeno mos tamus. That being in that situation itself is called death. Right? That's called the descent into that situation. Right? The Torah, that's a Torah Chaim. Right? HaKadosh Hu, giving us the Torah was, to remedy the situation and raise us up from what we fell to. Right? And that's what it means. Yisrael Shamdu Ar Sinai Paska Zua Masan. Right? That for a short while it was mamish literal that Am Yisrael reattained the madreg of Arbish and Kodem Achet. Right? And that's what Torah is. That's why it's called the Torah Chaim, right? A Torah of life. Right? The Torah is there to remedy that situation, and this is what the Sfarim say. All the dikduke halacha of the Taryag mitzvahs. All those dikduke halacha, everything is to repair another aspect of damage done by the Chet of Adam Rishon. And it's mamish diverse of, Ramach and Shasa, like the Ramach Varim and Shasa Gidim, because all of that is tainted. And all of the mitzvahs of the Torah is to undo that damage and give us dveikus in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Now, it could have happened in just one instant, but here's the yesod I want to say, right? The door into the jail is also the door out, right? The way you get in is also the way you get out, right? If the descent into the matzah of being tameh is called death, that's also the door to get out of it, right? The chiddush of what there is, of what we're learning about in this week's parasha, right, is that death is actually a two-way door, right? It could be the descent into being cut off from, kol davar kadosh and everything that's called chaim, right? But if you want to get out of the box and be reconnected, right, you go out the way you came in, right? And that's the Indian of amelus batera. Why is amelus batera required? Like, why can't I just lean back in an easy chair, sip a beer, and have my eyes, fall on the text? Right? There's no problem learning biology, chemistry, and physics that way. No problem. Right?
This is a very anti-article here.
Right. Yeah. But this might be.
No, man,
Whatever, I'm saying, this will be posted on the OU site, so I can't, and we spoke about political correctness, but I'll tell you something I once said story about Art Scroll after we shut off the recording, right? Because it's okay, right? But I'm saying, why is it? There's halacha, ain't divrei Torah nickname. You're not going to have a kinyan in Torah. Won't happen, right? Right? Why not? You would think, if I'm bright, I don't have to work hard. Right? You would think, that's the way it works by all the other sciences. You only have to work hard if you're stupid. And if you're bright, you don't have to work hard. So why is it by Torah's ain divrei Torah nickname? El mishum mein misatz moleh. Amelus b'Torah is obligatory, and it's ma'akev. It's ma'akev. You're not going to have a kinyan Torah. Right? Because Torah is not just stam information. Right? The Torah is transformative. The divrei Torah that you learn are taking you from the mortality that the mortal state that we fell into as a result of Chet Adam Rishon and raising you up to the immortal. Right? So the Torah is not just dead information. Dead information you can absorb like a sponge if you're bright enough without working hard. Torah is transformative. Right? So therefore Torah is all about dragging you up and making you something different than the way you were born, and that's why to hook up with that quality of Torah, that Torah is going to pull you up and make you immortal, right? To hook into that quality of Torah, right? And it shouldn't just be information, shouldn't just be culture, is that's where you have to invest in it and push yourself past your comfort level, right? Be more than your regular cruising level. And if you throw in more than what's natural to throw in, right? So the Torah responds also, because the more you put in, the more the Torah responds. You're pushing past your comfort level. I'll take you to the next level, right? But whatever you put in is what the Torah gives you. So if you're pushing past the comfort level, right? You don't want to stay in the box. So the Torah responds and pulls you up, and that's called kinyan Torah. Right, that's called to acquire the Torah, because Torah is elokus. If you're learning, I'll explain like this: if you're learning without amelus, you're learning about elokus. You don't have elokus inside of you. Right, just like, and this really gets into the omen of why all the sciences don't require amelus. Because when I'm learning physics, I'm learning about electricity. Do I have electricity inside of me because I'm learning about it? No, I'm getting information regarding electricity. The electricity is wherever it is. I don't have electricity inside of me. When I learn physics, I learn about electricity. As therefore, it's just information anyway. It's information regarding something. You could, if you're bright enough, you could absorb information without any effort. And it's not called having a kinyan, right? In electricity, because I know all about electricity. Right? Torah is called divrei Torah niknin, a kinyan. Like it's acquired and made a part of you. That all the things that the iris, all the divine lights that we're learning about, all the divine lights in the mitzvahs. When we learn about these things, we're not getting just information regarding this. We are actually putting those divine lights inside of us. But you have to relate to Torah that way, for Torah to relate to you that way. Whatever you put into Torah, the Torah gives you back. You got to push past your comfort level, say, I want to be more, and the Torah will be to you more than just information regarding the mitzvahs, but mamish, the koach of the mitzvahs will go inside of you. The divrei Torah, the divrei Elokim Chaim will be absorbed by you. Right? But you got to push past, that's called lahamis atzma al divrei Torah. Right? To kill yourself over divrei Torah, meaning you got to go out the same door you went in. Right? You went in because we wanted to be comfortable.
I could dash it a little bit different. I can say Mamus means that you have to kill the person you were to become a different person. So
right.
the relation of killing here is getting rid of that old person, the person with the HR, the person who wants to do
right.
everything done, and elevate yourself into a new class of individual.
Right, and that's correct, and that's done by getting out of your comfort zone. Because that comfort zone, that's the box where Tum is. That's the box. That's the box we're sealed in. The comfort zone. Got to break the comfort zone. That's called Mamus. Right? And that's what it means. And now of course death only does that for you, right? If you have Divrei Torah. Now that, let's look at the death in the literal sense, in the life of the individual. For a person who's not a Ben Torah, death is the end of the road. So eat and drink now, tomorrow you'll die, right? And it's the end. It's for a Ben Torah, death is just the beginning, right? Because what happens, at the time of after a person dies, is that the neshama goes to the Masifta Rakia to really learn Torah and to get more divine power, in proportionate to the mitzvahs.
I heard something like this when
Sure,
right?
I learned by him.
So he was trying to explain also that death, death is really a path to the next world.
Right.
So
it's not the end.
It's not a bad thing. It's really the ultimate thing. Death.
Because
Mauritian sin, and he had to go through a process of death in order to reincarnate himself into a new person who the original love of Mauritius. That's the death. Death is that transition.
Right.
From
So let's say
Adam to the new Adam.
Death is a door. Question is it a door into jail, or is it a door liberating? It's a door. So for the non-Ben Torah, it's just a door to go deeper into the ground. Right. For the Ben Torah, it's the door out. It's the door to immortality. The neshama gets tremendous koach and recovers, and the body also, when it rots in the ground, the mashcha the chavya, the snake skin, the zuama, that the nochash matu chava gets smelted out, and by tchias hamesim, it's just rebuilt with the good matter and not the bad matter. And so it comes out that death was the way to attain immortality. But that's for the Ben Torah. If you have Torah, so you turn death on its head, as the death for you is the doorway out. So in the life of during your lifetime, it's amelus b'Torah, right? Push past your comfort zone, and the Torah responds, and will, make you bigger and refashion you. Right? But in the big picture, at the end of your life, when you die, for a Ben Torah, right, death is just the beginning. Right? It's the beginning of his tchias hamesim. Right? As the neshama gets koach from the Masifta Rakia, in merit of the mitzvahs that did in this world, the guf gets rid of its zuama and with chibud hakever, and then everything is rebuilt, and they're resurrected, and the resurrected man goes to olam haba, to the si hadvekas of atem hadvekim b'Hashem okechem chayim kulchem hayom. Right? So that's what it means. Tov mod zeh hamisa. It's not talking about, it depends which type of death. The death of a Ben Torah, the death of amelus b'Torah, that's tov ma'od. That, chayim is tov. You want to be tov, you want to be more. You want to break out of the box and be even more. Death is your ticket, right? It was the doorway in, it's also the doorway out, to get out of what mankind fell into, right? So if Am Yisrael would have been Zoche, it would have all been done with the dropping dead by Matan Torah, right? That with the dropping dead, we break out of, what we were prior to Matan Torah, and then the Torah resurrected us, like the Medrash we quoted, and we've, we've had the whole tikkun right then and there. The problem is that death, in the lower sense, made a comeback with Chet Ego. That's like Rashi works out all the psukim of how paraduma is a tikkun for Chet Ego.
I don't know what the Torah complains when the Jews died. And non-Torah, so they now left this world, entered into a higher domain, and it's already saying, we don't have any guests? Yeah, you have guests, but your guests are higher level guests.
Yeah. No, but the body, the goof.
They didn't have a chance to live yet. They didn't get a chance of the meals yet.
But yes, amazing.
No. So the Torah demanded Tchias HaMesim.
Right.
The Torah demanded Tchias HaMesim. But that's the word. Torah gives you Tchias HaMesim. And that's Lashon Chazal. Tal Torah Mechayehu. For a Ben Torah, death is just the beginning of Tchias HaMesim. But that's for a Ben Torah. If a person doesn't have Torah, death is the end.
Oh, that's a good answer. The answer is, the Torah wanted to do its magic. Making us up. It happened.
That's right.
So without Torah, if they would have died, it would have been the end.
It would have been the end. It would have died as Egyptians. Right.
They would have died, and that would be the end.
Right. So the Torah did its thing. Right. That's right.
Says that without Torah, you don't have to do something.
Right.
What about women?
Yes.
They have to do something.
Right. But my Zachin, right? So the Gemara, that's right. And also Amoritz, what's the answer? Right.
So what about all these single girls out there in Manhattan? Right around there.
Oh, man.
I guess their boyfriends are very good.
Israel, a bunch of nuts that want to be matir chemra, not renew chemra benu gershom for all the. It's the only eight says take more, every man has to take more than one wife. Anyway, can't afford it. Anyway.
That's famous. That's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Motzerni mar mi movis. So you should. So the. As getting so now going full circle, that's the big Indian of Parah Duma, right? That takes off Tumas Mace. Right? Parah Duma reminds us, right, and that's why it takes off the Tuma, right? That Misa is not the end of the line. It's the end of the line for the Russia. That even Bechayev was Karui Mace. Right? The fact that Tuma is removable, it's removable, right? That shows that there's hope, and it gives a new perspective on death. That death is just the beginning, and that's mikoach the Torah. That's the apostle of Zos Chukas Torah. All right, and this mitzvah in the Torah reminds you about the power that there is in the Torah bichlal. That Torah is there to get us out of the.
Remind us now.
No, because two reasons. Well, three reasons. Right, the first one is called Zos Chukas Torah. Right. It's like the whole, it's called the chukah of the Torah. I mean, this is a prat from which you will be dan ala klal kulo, and that's why also later in the part zos haTorah adam kiyosem we learn out the din of amel spatorah from what's written within that yamis atzmo balash Torah. It's in this week's parasha, right? And that's also what it means that it's mikoach Moshe Rabbeinu vikhu elecha parah aduma. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Nosei Natar, that's called Lo'olam Zichru Toras Moshe Avdi. Just like it's called Toras Moshe Avdi, it's also called Hapara She'asa Moshe. This is the power of the Torah. The power of the Torah is to turn death into an opportunity, turn death into rebirth. Without Torah, death is just the end of the line, right? And then now that your whole life you're just building up to dying, right?
I don't understand how the Torah has anything to do with all that. Because it's red? Because it's what? What is the paraduma?
No, why paraduma? Okay, why paraduma? No, so why paraduma is a countermeasure to cheta ego. That Rashi says. Tavo imav t'kanech tzos. Because cheta ego caused death. It's sort of setback what we had at Ma'amad Har Sinai.
Not a covenant. You don't have to do either. You don't have to do anything. You just think it's just, and what is that?
Okay, no. So I mean,
what does it mean anything? It's cool. That's
no, No, I'm just saying. But look, it is a chayk, but I'm going on the fact that
you learn a black Gemara with Iyun until you're falling off your feet. Then I would understand why it's spoken.
But that's alluded to over here. Zosa Torah Adam Kiyamas, that this mitzvah was selected, that the din of Amel Spator was taught to us by this mitzvah of Paraduma within the halachas thereof. The whole mitzvah is introduced in general as Zos Chukas HaTorah, right? That this mitzvah is a mashal for the koach of Torah. So, to actually take off Tumas Meis B'Poal, so a guy could go the very next week to the Beis HaMikdash again and do his korbanos. Well, you need Paraduma. But it's also malamed on the etzem koach of Torah in general.
Okay, I got it.
This prat is malamed ala klal kulo. The koach of Torah, right, is to give life. Yes, and it but it's more than it converts death into rebirth. It converts death into rebirth, right? And that's what it means that just like we got the whole Torah through Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Zichru Toras Moshe Avdi. Right, it passed so also Vikhu Elecha Para Aduma. Lo'olam Hi Nikres Al Shmecha. Just like the whole Torah is called Al Shem Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu, who he is Torah itself, Kayadua, right? Shechina Medaber Stoch Grono. He is mamish the kli that holds Torah. That's why it's called Zichru Toras Moshe. That's why for him Para Aduma makes perfect sense. Para Aduma represents the essential power of Torah, the Torah itself. By Tamei HaMitzvahs, we explain the effect Torah has on us. Paradum represents the Torah itself, right? Not the effect that it has on us. And that's why to us it's a bit of a mystery, because this mitzvah is more reflective of the essence of Torah, not benefits that we get. Most times it's explaining benefits that we get from the mitzvahs. Right? Paraduma is more connected the essence of Torah and how it gives life. And part of how it gives life is that it converts even death into rebirth.
The same way that the paraduma takes off the person's tumor,
right,
and allows him not to enter the mikdash or do whatever.
Right.
The same way Torah has that power over the individual to take him
out of his mortality, out of his etzem mortality, and make him immortal. So this prod of taking off Tumas, so we go to Midrash, is also a klal that Torah, that's why it makes you immortal. It gets you out of the death force. Out of the death force that's with you constantly. Okay, it redeems you from that. And that's the koach of the Torah gufa. Right? And you only tap into that Torah if you do amelus. You have to be willing to die over it. That's called the amelus. Break out of your comfort zone. And then if that's what you want, and that's what you're willing to invest in the Torah, that's what the Torah gives you back. And you get out of the box. And death becomes the door out. As opposed to what it was for, was the door in to the concealment and the containment. And Moshe, that's Mamash connected to the Etzim Madrig of Moshe Rabbeinu, was capable of putting Torah on earth and being Manchil Torah Yisrael. Right? And I'll just point out one more thing, a very interesting thing, how death is rebirth, not just for the individual who's died. All right, this is a little bit more, unpolitically correct. The din of Yerusha, right, is triggered by Misa. Yerusha ein la hefsek. There's no such thing as Yerusha stopping, unless the money got spent, but as long as it's around, there's no such thing as Yerusha stopping. Yerusha ein la hefsek, and the whole Torah is called Yerusha. Morasha ki Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Morasha kilas Yaakov. It's one of the Rambam's big rayas that the only thing that can be counted as one of the Targum mitzvahs is a mitzvah noeges lidoros for all generations, because it's Morasha. Right? But it's the amazing thing. What triggers the Yerusha? Death. Meaning to say this, not just that guy who died, if he was a Ben Torah, he's being reborn, but he was actually creating something new by dying. Right? His death itself passes the torch. Right? That's what triggers Yerusha, dying. And that's what passes it on. That you have to. There's an amazing thing. Dor holech v'dor ba, and every door has its own das and its own unique mahalach in Torah. You know what gives birth to the new door and the new derech? The death of the door beforehand. It's not just their own rebirth that they climb to a higher place, right? But they're creating in this world, right? Their siluk, gives room right, for a new daya to emerge. That's what Chazal Darshan. Uva shemesh v'zorach hashemesh. That ad shelo shaka shimsho of this manig was born, but it's not just a coincidence. No, his death causes that birth. It's like a din of Yerusha, right? That sometimes like being misalik a certain das, as much as we're mitzstar over misas tzadikim, but there's also so we know misas tzadikim is also mechaper. Right?
So the Kedusha died.
Right.
They had a grandchild.
Svasemis, yeah.
Svasemis, the first tish that the Svasemis did, he did things different from the Kedusha. The Chassidim were very upset. So they started to complain. They said, "What are you doing this way? The Kedusha used to do it differently." So he answered them, So why am I sitting here? Let the Kedusha do it. He'll do it the way he did it. So they say, "Rabbi, he's not here anymore." He says, "Aha, now you got me. I do it my way."
Very good. Excellent. Yeah, I never heard this one. It's perfect. Fits perfectly with what we're saying. Right?
So let him do it. So let him finish.
I mean,
he can't finish. He's not here anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. The reason why it's not, by some people, like Yerida Sadors is like a frum type.
Ooh. What happened?
Let me tell you. Anyway.
Is that your wedding picture?
No, it's my. Does it look like it?
No, from here it's just I see it.
Yeah, it's my in-laws' wedding picture.
That's all.
My wedding's in picture. Yeah.
What?
My wedding. Yeah. You can
So who's that
look at it. That's my parents-in-law's wedding. Yeah. Anyway, so the right. So yes. So this is the Inyan. This is the Inyan that right. Porah Aduma teaches us. The idea that the Torah turns death into rebirth. That's a koach Torah, and that's also why Torah is called Morasha, right? That the siluk of one door actually gives birth to the new deis and the new Torah of the door comes afterwards, right? Like in a world that we could hope there could be even Aliyah Sadoris. The siluk of the door before causes. This was, as it were, the misplaced sentiment. The misplaced sentiment of Nadav Avihu. Right, that they were a little bit too much into this idea that I just said. They said Masa Yamusu Shnei Skenim Elu, right? They wanted to be manik, they were waiting, for a new derech to emerge.
The old generation has to die first.
That's right. Yeah. All right. So of course, we should help. Should misa sekim mechaper and whatever. Should know bila mavis lanetzach. Okay.